In a city doomed to fall, where walls were believed to be unbreakable and fear was the air they breathed, one woman's choice would echo through eternity. In the heart of Jericho, a city marked for destruction, an outsider, a woman of the shadows, would become an unlikely hero. Her name was Rahab. This is not just a story of spies and conquest. It's a story of audacious faith, of a single act of courage that defied an empire and changed the course of history. What did she see that no one else did? What did she know that made her risk everything for two strangers and their God? The answers lie hidden within the crimson walls of a city on the brink of annihilation. The story begins 40 years after the Israelites escaped bondage in Egypt. A new generation, led by a new commander, Joshua, stood at the edge of the promised land. Before them lay the Jordan River, and beyond it, the formidable, heavily fortified city of Jericho. It was the gateway to Canaan, a seemingly impenetrable fortress. To conquer the land, they first had to conquer Jericho. But how? Joshua, a brilliant military strategist, knew that brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed intelligence. He needed eyes and ears inside the city walls. So he chose two of his best men, two brave spies, and gave them a perilous mission. Go, look over the land, especially Jericho. The spies slipped into the city under the cover of dusk, melting into the bustling crowds of the marketplace. But in a city on high alert, two foreign faces are hard to miss. Word of their arrival spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of the king of Jericho himself. He was furious. Find them, he commanded his soldiers. They have come to spy out the entire land. The spies knew they were in grave danger. They needed a place to hide, somewhere no one would think to look. Their search led them to an unlikely sanctuary, a house built right into the city wall, a place known to travelers and locals alike. It was the home of a woman named Rahab. Now, Rahab was an innkeeper, but she was also an outcast. In that society, she was on the margins, someone most people would overlook or look down upon. But God saw something different in her. He saw a heart that was open, a spirit that was searching. When the two frightened spies appeared at her door, she didn't turn them away. She saw the desperation in their eyes, and against all logic and at great personal risk, she let them in. She hid them among the stalks of flax she had laid out to dry on her roof. It was a simple act, but it was an act of profound defiance against her own king and her own people. It wasn't long before there was a hard, aggressive knock at her door. The king's soldiers stood there, armed and demanding. "Bring out the men who came to you," they ordered. "They are spies." Think about the pressure of that moment. Her life and the lives of the men on her roof hung in the balance. A single wrong word, a flicker of fear in her eyes, and it would all be over. But Rahab, with incredible composure, looked the soldier straight in the eye and lied. "Yes, the men came to me," she said, "but I did not know where they had come from. About the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, the men went out. I don't know where they went. Pursue them quickly, and you will overtake them." Her words were convincing. The soldiers, believing her story, rushed out of the city gates in hot pursuit, chasing shadows on the road to the Jordan River. The city gates were shut behind them, sealing Rahab and the spies inside. The immediate danger had passed. Rahab quickly went up to the roof. The spies were still there, hidden and holding their breath. But this wasn't just about hiding anymore. This was a turning point. Rahab revealed why she had risked everything. She didn't just see two men. She saw representatives of a power far greater than the king of Jericho. She told them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land." She spoke of how the terror of the Israelites had fallen upon her people, how everyone's hearts melted in fear. She recounted the stories she had heard, stories of how the God of Israel had parted the Red Sea and led them to victory over powerful kings. These were not just myths to her, they were proof. While her people trembled in fear, Rahab saw hope. She made a profound declaration of faith. "The Lord your God, He is God in heaven above and on earth beneath." In a city full of idols, she declared her allegiance to the one true God. Then she made her plea. "Now then," she said, Please swear to me by the Lord, since I have shown you kindness, that you also will show kindness to my family, and give me a sure sign that you will spare my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, and all they have." The spies, moved by her faith and courage, readily agreed. They made a solemn oath. "Our life for yours," they promised. But there were conditions. She had to bring her entire family into her house and keep them there. And she had to mark her house so the invading army would know which one to spare. They gave her a scarlet cord, a bright crimson rope. "When we come into the land," they instructed, "you must tie this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. This will be the sign." That scarlet cord wasn't just a piece of rope. It was a symbol of her faith, a banner of her trust. It was the mark of a covenant, a promise of salvation, hanging against the stone of a doomed wall. She then helped them escape, lowering them by that same rope from her window outside the city walls. She told them to hide in the mountains for 3 days until their pursuers returned, and they would be safe. The spies did as she said, and after 3 days they made their way back to Joshua, their mission a success. They reported everything that had happened, concluding with a powerful testament to Rahab's report. "Truly the Lord has delivered all the land into our hands, for all the inhabitants of the country are faint-hearted because of us." Joshua now had the confirmation he needed. The final stage was set. The Israelites crossed the Jordan River on dry ground, another miracle that surely sent shock waves of terror through Jericho. For 6 days, the Israelite army, led by priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant, marched silently around the city once a day. On the 7th day, they marched around it 7 times. Then, at Joshua's command, the priests blew the trumpets, and the entire army let out a mighty shout. And the walls came tumbling down. The unbreakable fortress of Jericho, the pride of Canaan, crumbled into dust and rubble. The city was taken. Amidst the chaos and destruction, 2 men had a vital mission. Joshua had given them a direct order. "Go into the harlot's house and bring the woman and all that she has out of there, as you swore to her." The 2 spies, true to their word, navigated the rooms to find the house. On the wall, the one part of the wall that miraculously remained standing. There, in the window, was the scarlet cord, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. They brought Rahab and her entire family out to safety, just as they had promised. She had placed her faith in the God of Israel, and he had honored her faith in a spectacular way. Rahab's story doesn't end there. She and her family lived among the Israelites from that day on. She didn't remain an outsider. She was welcomed and fully integrated into the community. And here's the most incredible part. This woman from Jericho, this former outcast, married an Israelite man named Salmon. They had a son named Boaz. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Boaz married Ruth, and they became the great-grandparents of King David. And from the line of David came Jesus Christ. Rahab, the woman from the margins, is one of only 5 women mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew. Her story is a powerful reminder that God's grace isn't reserved for the perfect or the powerful. It's for anyone, anywhere, who is willing to reach out in faith. Rahab was surrounded by a culture of fear, but she chose faith. She was defined by her past, but she chose a new future. She risked everything based on what she had heard about God, and in doing so, she became a part of his incredible plan of redemption for all of humanity. Her legacy, symbolized by a simple scarlet cord, teaches us that no wall is too high and no past is too broken, for God has saving power. It shows us that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones you least expect. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more.